We are off to a new adventure. We bought a sailboat. We bought a 1984 Cape Dory 31. And we've been over 110 miles in the last 24 hours. Heading back to Tampa Bay. We are heading to Cut's Edge Marina now to have the boat hauled out. Really don't know what kind of condition the boat's in. Well, from what we can see, it's not the best. Needs lots of woodwork, lots of paint, but it's Cape Dory. I think it's gonna be a good boat to take us to the Bahamas. So that's our next plan, next adventure. Got Captain Beth over here driving. She's been driving for quite a few hours. Made it all night last night. But we are getting close. We are probably an hour away from coming into the boatyard. Had to wait for high tide. We're about five and a half foot, I think, draft. 5 foot, 5.5. So gotta wait for the tide to come in so we can get in. So stay tuned. We'll be at the boatyard shortly. Dad, are you nervous? Just a little bit? All right, the sailboat is back off the travel lift and on stands. So kind of my quick walk through. Definitely has some issues. We have bare fiberglass right here. So as we start sanding, I'm sure a lot of that stuff will still pop out. But could be worse. Prop shaft bushing, cutlass bearing, definitely bad. That's probably why I have a little bit of vibration. The prop, not the best. I have to get another one of those. The boot stripe, somewhat painted over a sticker, so not ideal. So that's gotta be sanded down. But the boat itself looks pretty good shape. We're at Cut's Edge Marina. Pretty nice view, right on the water. So here's day one. Wish me luck. All right, welcome back. It is day 2 of the Cape Dory. Sanding continues. It's a rainy day here in South Florida. It's a good day to sand. All right, time to take a break. I've been sanding for quite a few hours. Gonna take a little while. And yes, I know I need a dust mask, but don't have one with me. I'll get one for the next day. So I thought I'd give you a little rundown of the other project, the Dinghy. I think it's I don't know, 7 feet. I don't know. I don't see a name on it. Cool little rowing boat, I guess. Got a little 12-volt trolling motor from Walmart to put on it, and I don't know. It gets us on and off the boat. It does about 6, I think it was, at full speed with a lithium battery. So I mean, it'll get us on and off the boat. Not sure what to take to the Bahamas. It'd be nice to take a bigger dink so we can go exploring, but I'm gonna have to tow it because I can't lift it on the boat because it's not big enough. So I don't know. What's your thoughts? All right, it's still raining, so we're moving on to the next project. And apparently it's not going to be an easy one. The cutlass bearing seems to be pretty bad. Has a little vibration. Not easy to get to. Not a pretty job. Let me show you what I'm working with. So way down in here, under the rear deck, somewhere is the coupler and the prop shaft. Now that looks pretty easy to get to when you're on camera, but it's a long way down. Long way down. So I guess it could be worse. I'm going to try to get the prop shaft loose from the coupler by taking the set screws out. Maybe try to clean up the prop shaft and get the brake free and slide out. And then we'll move on to trying to get the cutlass bearing out, which I have no idea how to get out, but live and learn. All right, and while I'm down here, this next project, these are the cockpit drains. These go through the bottom of the boat, and there is nothing left to them. Quite scary. I had this thing that far offshore and did not realize they were that bad. That's all it takes from a sinking boat right there. Look at that. I was about 5 miles offshore, 6 miles, on an overnight trip last week with these lurking below me. Could have been a bad night. So all those are getting replaced. The rest of the hoses look pretty good. So see how this goes. All right, back down into the cockpit now. I want to tackle that fuel system. It was, well, let's just say it was rigged up a bit. It had a return filter for some reason, and it had a Raycor added to it on the return side. So, and it's really hard to get to. So not sure what they had going on, but we're going to start over. Just replace it all. Here's what I got going on. They had this Raycor here. They had another filter here coming off the return, and the fuel pump's way down here at the bottom. And to get to the drain, you had to stand on your head to get to it. It was way down here. And you can't get the filter top off. So, I mean, there's plenty of room right here. So I'm not sure why they stuffed it all in that corner. That's definitely not Cape Dory. That's someone after the fact. So, anyway, we're going to make it easy to get to and put it right here by the battery, I think. Here we go. Day 2. I got those cockpit drain lines replaced. Not an easy task. And I got the fuel filter, fuel pump, everything moved to a more desirable location. Okay, so I'm back underneath the cockpit, and I cannot get the coupler off. I've tried everything. Well, not everything. Everything that I have accessible. Still can't get it off. And I found pitting in the shaft. It's a bronze coated shaft. Not sure. So I'm going to be replacing the shaft apparently. So I'm just going to cut it off with a cut-off wheel. Try to save the coupler once I get it off on the table here, and just order a new shaft so everything's replaced. So here we go. All right, first step that I did was end up taking the shaft loose. I could not get it off the coupler, so my shaft was worn, as you can see, maybe. And so I had to replace it anyway, so I just ended up cutting it off with a hacksaw and pulling it out. Next step is I'm going to use a sawzall and cut slots in the bushing all the way back up into the end, just trying not to go into the fiberglass. So here we go. And more cutting. Now for the vice grips. So when you're cutting, from my notice, when you see fiberglass dust, probably went too far. So I don't think it's a problem because I'm going to epoxy a new one in and that should fill out the groove. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I could be wrong, but this is how I'm doing it. There it comes. That's the bushing. So I guess we'll see how much damage I did to the fiberglass. It looks like I only went through in one actual spot, so damage should be minimal. So I already got my epoxy mixed up. Here's my cutlass bearing. Seems like it's going to fit, so we'll find out here in a second. I would say that's it, and that's the right length. That's pretty much exactly how it was. So I'm going to wipe this epoxy out real quick and let that set and start building up around the outside of the cutlass bearing to hold it in. But it went in pretty tight, so I think it's pretty good. So I lucked out there. Obviously the top's easier. I don't know. Sure looks right to me. I guess if it falls out, we'll know it wasn't. All right. I got it all fiberglassed in. Pretty straightforward. It didn't take as much as I thought to build that back up with thick matting. I left a lot of its overlap with the cutlass, and I just sanded it down so it can't come out. And it's solid. Just got to fair it in a little bit. And here is what it looks like after I sanded it down. It's not perfect. I could use some filler, some fairing, but I don't know. I think it's good enough. It's an old boat. So, but the bearing went in tight. The cutlass went in tight, and yeah, I'm 100% confident it's going to be good. I did get a call from the prop shop today. I'm using General Propeller here in Bradenton, Florida. It's our local prop shop. They do everything, and they said the prop shaft was brass, I think they said, and probably original to the boat. They didn't think it's ever been changed, so it's been around a while. Definitely due for it. And they said it'd be about $370 for a new shaft, and they needed the coupler to put it on the shaft to true it. So I dropped the coupler off, and they said it should be done in a day or so. So we'll get back to you after I get that back. See how it goes. All right, big day. I got my cutlass bearing back in, and I got my new shaft in today. So General Propeller in Bradenton, Florida did this shaft. Ended up being, I think, $411 with the new coupler. For some reason, they replaced the coupler. I didn't ask questions. I just paid the bill, and yeah. So and it came with new bolts, new keyway, everything I need. So that's it right there, and it fits in really good. I'll put a little grease on it here just to help it lube up from the first start up, but yeah, looks good. Okay, while my epoxy's drying, I'm gonna jump over here to the dinghy project real quick. Just got to, the transom's bad, just a little piece of wood fiberglass in right here. So just putting a trolling motor on it, so I probably don't even need this, but hey, I have a big old piece of, I think it's called maybe Kusa board. It's transom board, left over from another project. Yeah, way overkill, but I already have it, so I'm gonna cut it out and stick it in here, and then the dinghy should be pretty good to go. I think that's a job well done. Ooh, sorry. Perfect for what it is. All right, let's go check up on Beth. She's painting the dink. See how it's going. How's it going down there? Looking good. You having a blast? You sure? Ready to go for a boat ride?
More fun than this. I think.
All right. Keep a painting. Getting ready to paint our boot stripe on. Wiping it down with alcohol. See how it's coming. First coat's going on now, looking pretty good. Captain Beth over here, going at it. How's it going? That's it?
Yeah.
I think it looks good. First coat's almost done. And the boot stripe is finished. Eesh. Looks good from a distance, right? I think. Not sure. It's bright. But pulled the tape off and the paint ran underneath the tape. So the closer you get, the worse off it is. So, anyway, that was not a plus. But I had Beth order a 1-inch vinyl stripe to go in between the white and the red. So that should cover it up good. All right, finally, we are ready to paint. The boat is finally sanded, finally, and it's looking good. So let's give this last wash job here, and I will be ready to start to paint tomorrow. And the old Dinghy, not pretty good actually. Beth gave it a paint job today. Looks a lot better. I'm gonna put a bilge pump in it. Lithium battery should be here tomorrow, so it'll work. All right, next project, the heat exchanger. Got it all apart. You can see down inside how cruddy it is. Probably why it's running a little hot. So we're gonna soak it in acid. This is simple boric acid. It'll pull it right out. So let's see what happens. Eat this nasty stuff right out of the cooler. We'll do this a few times. Hose it all out. Should be good. That's all there is to it. So I think we're going to do it for this video. When we get back, we're going to do the bottom paint and finish buttoning things up. But the engine's ready, heat exchanger's done, new top's on. We got to go back up the mast and do some stuff up there. Do that and start packing stuff in it to get ready for this trip to the Bahamas. So stay tuned. And what a nice evening. Sunset in the background. Boats cruising by. Life's good.